Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Rupa, and I'll be presenting on the topic assessment of the central macular thickness in patients with unilateral acute anterior uveitis. Acute anterior uveitis is the most common form of uveitis. Most common form of uveitis and may occur as an isolated problem due to idiopathic reason or may arise in illness or inflammation elsewhere in the body. AAU primarily affects the front of the uvea and anterior chamber in acute diseases, and this acute disease is characterized by sudden onset. Symptoms include pain, redness, photophobia that typically develop rapidly over a few days. Inflammation in the anterior segment of the eye can lead to posterior segment changes like increase in the central macular thickness, RNFL thickness, and cystoid macular edema sometimes. Changes in the posterior segment can be easily missed out in only using slit lamp biomicroscopy. Hence, optical coherence tomography can be useful to detect findings in the acute phase of AAU. OCT being a non-invasive tool for retinal imaging helps us to accurately measure the thickness of the macula and retinal nerve layer thickness. In the study, to determine the effect of AAU on the posterior segment, macular thickness was compared between existing controls using OCT.
Can you mute the others in the background?
You go ahead with your presentation.
Okay. So this was a prospective observational study performed in a tertiary care center in Jharkhand from August 20 to December 2020. 25 patients of diagnosed unilateral AAU were in the group A, and group B had the 24 healthy aged matched controls were enrolled. Diagnosis was made after detailed ophthalmic examination, including best corrected visual acuity, IOP measurement via applanation tonometry or non-contact tonometry, slit lamp biomicroscopy, endoscopy, and OCT was done. And diagnosis of AAU was made according to the clinical symptoms along with the presence of inflammatory cells in the anterior chamber, and which was graded from 0 to 4 in accordance with the Sun nomenclature. And the patients aged less than 18 years, posterior uveitis, panuveitis, pre-existing ophthalmic diseases that affect the retinal thickness, past planitis, diabetic macular edema, IOP more than 21 mmHg, and history of intraocular surgery except cataract were within the exclusion criteria. Thickness of the macula was compared in the initial active phase and inactive, and at least 3 months after resolution of the inflammation were analyzed. OCT measurements was done in the macular cube 512 into 128 cube based on the central macular thickness. The macular cubes can divide into central circle, inner ring, outer ring, using 1 mm, 3 mm, and 6 mm respectively, using retinal mass analysis system. Now the results, in the group A there were 25 patients, and as I told, and group B 24 patients. The mean age was 37 and 35 respectively. Best corrected vision logMAR 0.04 and minus 0.6 in the group B. Inflammation grade was 1.7, and central macular thickness in the active phase in the affected eyes were 260.5 plus minus 25 micron meters, and in control eyes were 250.4 plus minus 17.5 micron meters. And the average CMT in the active phase in the affected eye was 260.5 plus minus 25 micron meters, and in inactive phase 251 plus minus 15.6 micron meters. The difference between the two was significant. P-value was 0.04, which is less than 0.05. And
Dr. Rupa, please conclude.
Okay, this is one of the pictures where the comparison between the macular thickness is done before and after 3 months. So previous studies have shown that macular thickness is significantly greater than normal in uveitic eyes in acute inflammation and active inflammation, and my study also favors the same. So to conclude, OCT scan shows the central macular thickness of affected eyes increase in the active phase, and it gradually decreased when inflammation subsided. So we can use OCT routinely as a prognostic tool and for monitoring in acute cases of anterior uveitis. Thank you, everyone.
Any questions for Dr. Rupa since we are running out of time?
Dr. Rupa, did you compare it with the other eye, or these are just the normal individuals, right?
Yes, sir. Normal individuals. Yes, sir. I took the controls for the for normal individuals, not the fellow eye, since there may be association with systemic diseases. It may occur bilaterally, so that I compared with the control eyes.
Another interesting presentation. One comment that OCT, you know, when you measure it, even if you measure the same patient twice, there can be some variation in the measurement in OCT. You know, 10% is considered cutoff. So this thing is within 10 microns only. So there can be, you know,
Yes, sir.
inter-observer variability and where you put the scan, you know, in terms of measurement. So it would have been much better if you would have compared the other eye, you know.
Yes, sir. Fellow eye. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Otherwise, interesting concept. Definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else for questions, please?
We still have 25 seconds.
One last question, Dr. Rupa. Did you see any changes in individual retinal layers
Sir,
when you were studying the OCT morphology?
sir, in one patient there was macular edema developing. Other than that, individual layer, I think ganglion cell layer, or that you're asking about.
How was the uveitis?
Yes,
treatment?
that's right.
Did you give NSAIDs also or only steroids?
That's steroids. That's steroids. Yes.
No NSAIDs.
No,
Okay.
sir. Steroid based.
It's an interesting thing to see in the future. If you add NSAIDs, do they give any further advantage?
Advantage. Okay, sir. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind, sir.